The doctor was devastated and alarmed. So she was like, what did the hospital give you? I go and get the medicine bag and I show her. She's like, these are the drugs that they gave? You got these from the hospital?
I'm not their mother. And you did the best you could do with the strength that God gave you. They weren't in this situation and they were not here to help you. So you had the only person that you needed, and that was God. However you handled it was how he intended, because he foreknew that day before it ever came, and he knew you would go through it by yourself and you wouldn't have anybody else. So whatever you did is what he placed in you. And so don't second guess what somebody else saying. If they ever go through the situation, then they need to pray that they will handle it as well as you did, or as God want them to handle it. You did what God intended for you to do for me, and I'm satisfied.
Thank you. What's up, wannabes? Welcome to JUANaEAT, where we make you
Want to eat.
And today we're eating canes. Before we get into this video, we're gonna say grace, do a thumbnail, then we're gonna eat. Okay. That ain't this kind of video. What made you do that? This is a serious video. What in the world? I'm leaving that in.
That's how I see them look.
I'm gonna leave that in. I have no way you did that. Lord, I want to thank you for this food we're about to receive. We're asking that you will let it be nourishment to our bodies. Go and touch our subscribers. Allow them to have a wonderful week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So today we're having canes, and I know y'all have been missing us so much, but we're going to catch you up on everything. My mom didn't even realize that we hadn't made a video for JUANaEAT explaining why we've been gone, what's been happening. The last few videos that we've been uploading were drafts. They were videos that were already edited and unlisted, and we just took them off private, but we haven't filmed up mukbang in about 3 weeks. So we're going to get into that, what happened, why we've been gone, why she's wearing the glasses. If you follow us on TikTok or Instagram, you're pretty much caught up. And this is basically going to be a more detailed explanation of what's going on. So as y'all can see today, we have canes. We have some of their tenders, their canes sauce. This is the most sauce we've ever gotten. I got the large cup of it. And these fries are homemade. We have some coleslaw. And my mom is finally using her Stanley that I bought her for, like, what did I buy that for you? For Mother's Day. You decided to whip it out on Father's Day. How disrespectful. You are using your Mother's Day gift on Father's Day. Mm-hmm. You think that's cute, Mother?
Mm-hmm, because I've been a mother and a father.
She did used to cut the grass, and she always did the handiwork. She would have us moving furniture together. I really hated that. I'm so glad that's over. Thank you, Jesus. Or anyway, y'all, my mom is really hungry. She's not listening to anything I'm saying, so let's dig in.
You can't eat and listen.
No, Mom, I know you, and like it's a certain look you get in your eye when you're like eyeing food, and you really like don't listen to anything anyone's saying. Like you're focused on that food. Ooh. That was a crunch, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Do you miss us sitting down doing mukbangs? Mm-hmm. Do you really? Mm-hmm. No, she doesn't. You told me you could do that running back and forth for the rest of your life.
I can.
Y'all.
You asked me, did I miss this?
Let us know if you miss us sitting down doing mukbangs. Me personally, I don't miss it as much as you would think. I almost choked. I really enjoyed the outside videos because I feel like it brought something new and fresh to our mukbang channel, and I'm really enjoying it.
I am too.
I'm gonna dip a fry in here. Ooh.
Sometimes change is good.
Yeah.
Especially when it feels so new.
Mm-hmm. I've been having fun. I've probably seen maybe 3 comments saying that they miss sit down videos. If more people feel like that, I am not aware. I think because we also have the JUANaEAT channel, and we've like been very detailed and open about what's going on there. It kind of slipped our mind about JUANaEAT. Don't get me wrong, we did not forget y'all, but it's not that, like, we have almost 1 million subscribers on JUANaEAT. On one of them, it's about 330,000. So like most of the people on JUANaEAT are probably subscribed to JUANaEAT, but we can't say the same about JUANaEAT. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole different audience. So we want to catch you guys up on basically what happened. And when my mom is done chewing, she'll like start. What day was that? June 7th? No, it was June 3rd. She's gonna tell us what happened on June 3rd when she's ready. After a few more bites. Is it hard to talk about? It's hard for me to talk about.
Is it? Well,
I'll get into it when we get to that part.
so you guys, I was doing my hair, and I actually started on a Saturday night actually, and I had already planned that I wasn't gonna finish my entire head. I was just gonna do enough and then finish it up the next morning, you know, because I didn't want to just tire myself out just standing in one place. I usually don't do my hair sitting down. Some people do, but I don't. Anyway, so I didn't want to stand the whole time this time, so I started my hair, and when I got to my stopping point, I stopped, but I went ahead and stopped because I felt like my vision was changing. And so the next morning, when I got up to do my hair, I had just about finished. I had just about finished my hair, but by the time I got halfway done, I had to ask my daughter to part my hair for me because I couldn't see clearly, and I couldn't, you know, part my hair as needed, you know. And so I ended up having to stop and not finish my hair at all because my vision was worse. Plus, you know, I was getting I think at first my vision was just bad, right?
You said it was blurry.
Yeah, my vision was blurry, and I could see like a white cloud, you know, in the room. The room was like not smoky, but it was just like a film of white in the room. Excuse me. And so, you know, y'all may have learned or may not know, but when I feel like there's an issue or something is serious, then I get really quiet because then I know I need to be praying. And so my daughter called 911. And I was hoping actually that the paramedics would be able to just, you know, see what's wrong and then say, you know, okay, well, you know, it's fine, whatever, you know, and then I would be good is what I was hoping. Were you hoping that?
Yeah, I didn't think that's what was gonna happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think that they were gonna look at you and say da 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 da. I was expecting for them to come in, take your vitals, see the state that you were in, and just transport you to the hospital, because you have to understand that I watched you progress. I watched you progressively get worse. Like, you know, at first, it's blurry, you know, greasy looking. You know what it's like. Imagine if you're like doing your hair, you have grease on your hands, and then you touch your phone camera. Then we go to the camera, it's all cloudy and greasy. Like, I know what that feels like, you know, from moisturizing my hair and stuff like that when something gets in your eye. But usually when you flush it, go to sleep, wake up the next morning, it's gone. But hers was getting progressively worse. The morning that I decided to call the ambulance, it had originally when she first woke up, if you watched that vlog, she was going through these sort of spasms of like having to clench her eyes shut because they hurt, but it was like every couple of minutes. and it almost became like contractions because they were getting closer and closer together. So I knew then that something is really wrong. I did not expect for the paramedics to come and say, oh, no. I knew she had to go to the hospital. Once the paramedics got there, they of course took her vitals, and what was alarming to me, I don't think my mom was even in the mind space to pay attention and understand at first. You didn't know at first that your blood pressure was that high, did you?
I figured it was because usually that's one reason why I get quiet. Because I understand that if you can get quiet and try to gather yourself and not get too excited or get too upset, then you kind of help the situation. So I was trying not to get upset because it was going to worsen the situation. And I knew if I did, my pressure was going to go up.
Yeah.
And it was up, but it could have gone up worse.
Yeah, so they ended up taking her blood pressure a few times, and they asked her, like, are you on any blood pressure medication? Do you ever have high blood pressure? She's like, no. They're like, okay, well, your blood pressure is 200 over 110. That is really bad. Like, the reason why her pressure was that high is because of the pain she was in. Like, imagine being in that much pain. That is scary. For you to not have blood pressure problems, like never in your life. She's never had blood pressure problems, and for them, like, it was just crazy and surreal. And they kept taking it, and they like, okay, it's going down a little bit, like it's 199. Like, oh my goodness. So I remember telling them, you know, all of her well, she only has one allergy, which is anesthesia. And I followed the ambulance to the hospital. So what happened when you got to the hospital?
When I got to the hospital, oh my God, my eyes were so bad. I wouldn't even open them. And I was actually in the, they were so full everywhere. And I probably wouldn't have had a room if, you know, we had just gone there. And so we were standing, so they had me laying by the nurse's station. They were telling me, just hold on, we're going to get you in a room as soon as we can or whatever. And so somebody immediately gave me some numb drops. And that was just really to buy them enough time to get some information, you know.
So during this point, I'm at the front desk, like checking her in, telling them name, birth, allergies, medication. Like, I'm telling them everything that they may need to know, insurance, all that. So at some point when she did get a room, that's when I went back there. And as soon as I got out there, as soon as I got into her room, she was saying, can you go get the nurse? Because, well, as soon as I got back there, she was like, they gave me some drops in my eyes and I'm feeling better, like I have some relief. So she was able to open her eyes, and she was like, it's starting to wear off. Could you go get the nurse? And I was like, well, how long ago was it that she put the drops in your eyes? And she said probably like 15 minutes maybe. I'm like, okay, but I go find a nurse, and the nurse comes in immediately, gives her some more drops. She's good. She's not all the way good, but I mean, she's able to like hold a conversation and not, oh, you know what I'm saying? So, I was relieved that she was experiencing some type of relief, but it kept wearing off and kept wearing off. It kept wearing off. So every time it wore off, nurse would come in, put some more drops in her eyes. Nurse would come in, put some more drops in her eyes. And I started to notice that her actual lids were starting to swell. And her eyes looked way more red than they were when we left the house. So I'm like, it's getting worse, but you know, as long as she's kind of getting some type of relief. So the doctor came in, right? And mind you, when we went to this hospital, when we told the ambulance, the paramedics, what hospital we wanted to go to, they were like, good choice. That's the only hospital in the area that has an on-call eye doctor in the emergency room. So we're like, okay, great. What you gonna say?
I'm listening.
Oh, so the eye doctor comes in. He's got his optical lens with him on the little dolly, wheeling it in, and he was. I was trying to feel comfortable with him because of how easygoing he came off. You know, he came off like another care in the world. Like, oh, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like some doctors do that to just make you feel comfortable and give you some sense of
It puts
optimism.
you in the mind of a child's doctor.
Yeah. That's a perfect description. Like, he was very, and I'm not gonna lie, it did rub me wrong at first because this is very serious to me. This is very serious to her, and he was just too laid back about it. But I was like, okay, he's just trying to make us feel comfortable and let us know everything's okay. So I remember him, when he came in and she said that she was having eye pain, he grabbed the little ball of numbing drops and he poured some more in her eye. Boom, she has relief. So that's when he was able to like have a conversation with her. How did this all begin? Da 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 da. Unfortunately, we skipped a part, so I'm gonna have to go back. So basically, when the paramedics were there, of course they asked what happened. We explained it to them. They were like, okay, let's see the package of hair that she was braiding into her head. So I went and got the package, and he looked at it and he was like, yeah, the packaging says that there is a flame retardant in this hair weave. So we see it a lot where the flame retardant on the weave gets into the eye and irritates the eye. So we kind of had like a forewarning that that's basically what it was, which we kind of felt like that's what it was, because while she was doing her braids, I mean, you know how it is doing your hair. The hair gets in your face. You got to move it out the way. That happens with your real hair too. I mean, hair gets in your face. It's, you know, that's just what happens. So so the eye doctor, after he gave her the drops, that's when he was able to actually open her, because she couldn't even open them. Like, she couldn't, the pain that she was in, it was like, not only did it hurt to have them open, but the actual air would drive them out and cause more pain. Like, she would just, I could just see her now. She kept having to do that. So he gets the lens and he looks into her eyes and he's like, yeah, you're pretty chewed up. And I quote, that's exactly what he said. Yeah, they're pretty chewed up. So she was like, what? You know what I mean? And I'm like, he was like, oh yeah, they're really bad. Like, they are bad. Like, but the damage is done. So we're not gonna flush. We're just gonna give you these drops to take home, and you follow up with your eye doctor. It's gonna take you probably about a week. You're gonna be in pain for a week. That's basically what he said. He got his equipment and he left. Wait, did he say he wasn't gonna flush, or he just didn't? I don't think he said we're not gonna flush. I think he just was like, the damage is already done. Now what we need to do is just soothe the eye until it heals. So that's why he gave us the numbing eye drops to help with the pain. You know, the eye heals itself. So after he left, the nurse immediately came in and she was like, okay, it's time for y'all. Okay, we can get y'all out of here. Here's your discharge. She gave us the paper and the drops. She said, you can take these home. I also have some ointment. She gave us 2 bottles of ointment, and she gave me the instructions on how to administer the eye drops to my mom. So I was told that the cream should go in every 2 hours. Not the cream, the ointment that we were given should go in every 2 hours, and the actual numbing eye drops as needed. And it's actually written down on that discharge paper. She told me as needed. And I asked her, I'm like, okay, it's wearing off like every 20 minutes, like every 15 minutes. And she's like, well, don't overdo it. But yeah, just as needed. And they sent us on our way. Now, at this point, her eye, she was better. She was able to walk out of the hospital. We got in the car and left. And I'm relieved. I'm scared still, but I'm relieved that she's having she's not in the pain that she was in when we woke up that morning. So we get home and it's nighttime and it got worse. I mean, she was in excruciating pain, and I knew she was because she burst out praying. She burst out praying like out of nowhere. I'm talking about like full-fledged war cry praying. And I left the room because I had to go get myself together. If y'all don't know, I'm pretty sure you know by now, but if you don't know, I'm the only child. And I always joke with my mom that that's kind of selfish to only have one child, but seriously, it's all on me. I have to make sure that she's good. I'm by myself. I don't have anybody else to handle this with me. So with me being so young, there's a level of maturity that I have to have. don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like I'm of age to handle these type of situations, but it's scary dealing with someone having pain in their eyes and you're kind of like, you know, that's someone's vision. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go get myself together because I felt my own pressure rising. So after I got myself together, I went back and got in bed with her. And how was that night for you? That first night after the hospital, after we had gotten the drops and we were like adding them however often we were adding them. How was that night?
I felt better for the moments that, you know, of course the drops were in there, but I felt worse after they would wear off. I mean, it was like cut glass was underneath my eyelids. When I say I didn't want to open my eyes, I didn't want to close my eyes. Even though I kept my eyes closed, you guys, oh my God, I had to keep them closed because opening them made them water, made them burn. I felt all of this with them closed, but at least I didn't have the ceiling fan or air or whatever contributing to the pain that I was feeling with my eyes open. So closing them felt better to me, you know, even though it was painful. Oh my God, even though it just felt just like every time my eyelids moved, my eyelids on the inside were being cut with glass. Every time I dreaded blinking my eye, you know, I dreaded opening my eye, I dreaded closing my eye. It was, oh my God.
I remember her even telling me that she felt like she had trash under her eyes. And
because whenever you know, my eyes are closed, I kept my eyes closed, so whenever I moved my eyes around, I could feel grit or debris, you know, one piece bigger than the other, you know, none of it was all the same size. You know, at one point I felt like my eyelids were being cut and I could feel the extra skin just laying over under my eye while it was closed. Now, of course, that probably wasn't the situation, but
right.
when I say it was terrible, and so I had to pray for myself that I could, you know, stay focused, because I felt like I couldn't lose it, you know, but it was a situation to make you almost lose it, because losing your sight or anything like that, I thank God that he had grace upon me. And it kept coming to me, different people, not different people, but I remember, you know, thinking about one person I know that lost their sight probably about 20 years ago, and you know, due to health issues or whatever. And so I just kept praying for myself.
Is this good to you?
No.
What's wrong?
And they don't know how to make coleslaw.
Is it always this nasty?
You know, I don't really eat anybody's coleslaw, but one place.
Oh. And I'm down to the bottom and I'm just not feeling like it's nasty. But go ahead.
It was torture for me, and I always dreaded every time I took that medicine. And you know, it take a second to, you know, kick in where I would feel better. But I promise you, every time I get to feeling better, it makes me think about, oh my God, I only have 11 minutes left or 6 minutes left, and there I go again. It's gonna, you know, because I felt like if they were sending me home with something, it should have did better than what it did.
Right.
You know, in fact, it was making it worse. And so I really didn't have.
Let me say this, because a lot of people have been saying in my TikTok comments, why would you take her to the hospital anyway? Sweetheart, it was.
Why would they say why?
Because
what else you gonna do?
Because they feel like we should know not to go to the hospital for our injuries, but
where should you go?
the eye doctor, but it was a Sunday. Nothing was, not even urgent care was open. With the type of pain she was in, a blood pressure of 200 over 110, I couldn't wait until the next day, Monday, to see what was wrong with her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, you
Like-
don't have to explain for that. Because whoever said that, I'm not their mother. And you did the best you could do with the strength that God gave you. They weren't in this situation and they were not here to help you. So you had the only person that you needed, and that was God.
Yeah.
You didn't need nobody else. However you handled it was how he intended, because he foreknew that day before it ever came, and he knew you would go through it by yourself and you wouldn't have anybody else. So whatever you did is what he placed in you. And so don't second guess what somebody else saying. If they ever go through the situation, then they need to pray that they will handle it as well as you did, or as God want them to handle it. So don't ever, first of all, don't ever receive anybody telling you anything about your own mother. You know what's best for me through Christ Jesus. What you don't know, he'll give you. If he needed for you to have somebody else there, I'd had more children. And you did what God intended for you to do for me, and I'm satisfied.
Thank you.
If he intended for somebody else to be there, I would have had more children, or that would have been a relative with me, or there would have been a client with me, or, no. It happened just as he intended for it to happen. So whoever's saying what in the comments, I appreciate all the love that we receive. All that other stuff, no. I appreciate the love that we received. There were so many people concerned about me, and I'm appreciative. People that didn't know us, but when it came across their feed, they sent prayers my way, saying that they, pray that I get better or whatever. People were saying that about you, that, that you were doing a good job, and, some people allowed God to use them.
It was a Sunday, so we took her to the hospital, the emergency room. There was nowhere else to go. If we could have taken her to her eye doctor, that's exactly where we would have gone. Or ear, eye, nose, and throat. Come on, now it's a Sunday. Those people have to go home. So with the anesthesia, it's wearing off over and over. I'm constantly administering it to her, but it came a point where I'm like, okay, Mom, she said we can't overdo it. So it's like, I was like, I have to do something else. It keeps wearing off. Like, I can't let my mama feel like this all night long. I can't let her feel like this until Monday. Like, it was too excruciating. I'm sorry. Like, this was beyond the cramps. Like, that type of pain, I can't even fathom. And I'm not even the one feeling. I just know her, and I know my mom doesn't grumble or complain when it comes to pain. My mom somebody could run over my mama toe in their car, and she is not going to scream. When my mother birthed me, she did not scream. She doesn't scream or like audibly express pain. So for her to be, come on now, that hurts. So I'm like, I got to do something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try some. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep this medicine. There is a certain painkiller, over the counter, that I use for, that knocks out any cramp, any headache, any toothache, when my tonsils are swollen, knocks out every pain in my body. And I was like, I got to give. I'm going to tell y'all what it is, but after I buy like 25 of them. I gotta stock up, because I do not want y'all to take them from me. So I was like, I'm going to try it. So I gave it to her, and she got some relief. She was able to go to sleep like that. That really made my night. And I was really jumpy. Like, I don't know, you ever feel like your heart is just on edge? Like, I was really on edge the whole night, sleeping next to her. But every time I woke up and looked at her, she seemed like she was peacefully sleeping. So the next morning we wake up and she's better. We went the whole night, no drops, only the over-the-counter painkiller that I gave her, and she was pretty good. I mean, she had some, of course it still hurt, but the swelling, the wincing of the pain, like that was not it. Like it was itchy, it was hurting, but it was not as bad as it was at the hospital or before the hospital. So I'm like,
it didn't itch.
Yes, it didn't itch. Okay, I was like, yes, God, thank you. So at some point, the over-the-counter started to wear off. So she's like, it's starting to hurt again. I'm like, okay, so do you want drops or do you want some more medicine? So she was like, I'll do the medicine and the drops. So that's when we kind of like made the update video, like letting people know what was going on TikTok. And that's when we had the pink on. And as you see, at some point in the video, she's like, let's pause. I have to get some more drops. Like, it was unbearable. So I gave her some more. After I gave her those drops, y'all, her eyes became swollen like Bart, Homer, and Marge Simpson. All three of them put together. They were, I'm not laughing. I'm so serious. Like, I don't know anybody else that looked like that. To help you understand how your eyes were, they were like that.
I didn't look at my eyes.
Does that make sense?
Oh, the top and the bottom
Yes.
was swollen like that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That, it was, I noticed, this is what I noticed. The skin around her eyes started to become almost dry, like it was having an irritation. Your actual skin, it was red and they were swollen, and God, they looked bad. I knew then, okay, this is worse. I was like, I think the drops are making it worse. It was just that bad. So mind you, it's Monday morning, and we decided, okay, it's Monday morning, let's call and see if we can get you an appointment. So once she called her eye doctor was like, come in right, matter of fact, can you come at 1? Can you come at 12? Can you come today? It was like 10. She was like, can you come at 1? So we're like, of course. So we get up and we go to eye doctor, and of course, she cannot hold her eyes open. So I'm walking with her in my arm. She can't even see. I gotta guide her where to walk. Yeah, people was looking at us crazy and everything, but like,
They were.
But I mean, it was no other way for me to get her anywhere. Like, so we get in there, and oh my goodness, her eye doctor was so heartbroken. Like, this is her primary eye doctor who like does her eye exams, gets her glasses, stuff like that. So she was the first doctor, and I believe the only one to give her some of the eye dye. They put like this yellow tinted dye in your eye so that they can actually see whatever abrasions or whatever, because you know it's hard for you to see a cut on your eye. So she put that in her eyes, and she said, oh my goodness. She took out a piece of paper and she said, I'm gonna draw what I see. So she told her that she had corneal abrasions all over both eyeballs. On top of that, she had 2 smiley face lacerations underneath her lower lids, meaning 2 cuts. I don't even know how to explain this to you. Like, she literally had 2 cuts, 2 cuts under her eyes, just like that, shaped like a smiley face in each eye. So the doctor was devastated and alarmed. So she was like, what did the hospital give you? I go and get the medicine bag and I show her. She's like, these are the drops that they gave? You got these from the hospital? She was like, okay, well, I understand why they would give you that, but I would stop treatment with those, and I would just stick to the eye cream. And she was like, a lot of people a few people in the comments had asked us or shared with us their testimonials when they had an eye issue where they would like apply a contact lens to help the eye heal. But in my mom's case, that would have given a basically doorway to infection, that bacteria getting into her eye. And plus, my mom doesn't know how to put in eye contact, so she would have had to go there every day, and that's too risky for contamination. So she was like, I'm gonna refer you to the ear, eye, nose, and throat doctor, because the type of pain that your mom is in, she needs to be prescribed morphine. Sorry, not morphine, codeine. So I kind of was like I kind of set up like, oh my goodness. For one, she's in a lot of pain if you want to prescribe that to her. And number two, my mom's allergic to anesthesia. So imagine how she gonna act on codeine. So anyway, we get the referral. We go to ear, eye, nose, and throat. And of course she's still in pain, still have to walk her in. I'm filling out her paperwork. Let them know anesthesia, allergy, blah, blah, blah. Go in. And she does her eye exam, where they like put the letters and stuff on the screen. She did terrible. I'm talking about a 0. Like she got barely anything right. And that's when I knew, yeah, this is something serious going on. So what did the ear, eye, nose, and throat doctor end up telling you when you got there? Do you remember?
I'm trying to think.
Well,
The nurse was there first.
The nurse asked what medications were we given by the hospital. So again, I go get the little medicine bag and I show her these drops, and she's like, who gave this to you? Who? Like, it's she went and got the other nurse. They like, you got this from where? Oh, okay, go sit down. We'll be in there a minute. So when the doctor comes in, they inform us that the eye drops we were given are known for melting the surface of your eye. So that means we spent an entire 24 hours making her conditions worse. We found out that her corneas were already softened from the chemical burn due to the chemicals in the braid and weave. So they were already soft, but this medication that we were given, not prescribed, but given out of someone's coat pocket, softens your corneas even more. So imagine if I didn't go. Imagine if, no, let's imagine this. Imagine if that whole night when you were in pain, I just kept putting the drops in your eyes. Like if we would have kept just a little while longer. Okay, so they inform us that we're going to have to first, before she can heal, we have to undo what the hospital did. So that was a failed mission. Not only was it a wild goose chase, but it put us in a worse position than what we were in before. So,
worse position than what the hair did.
yes, way worse, due to a hospital. So we were prescribed eye drops, and they told us to, they prescribed 2 different eye drops to us. One was to reverse the damages of the hospital, and one was to heal the abrasions. So one of the drops, she had to have, her right eye was worse than her left eye. I noticed that. Her right eye was way more swollen, way more red. So she had to do eye drops in that eye every 2 hours. In the other eye, 4 times a day. Then there was this other medicine that I had to do twice a day, plus the ointment. So now we have like a whole routine of medicines that we have to apply to I had to apply to my mom's eye. So boom, I became a nurse. So I was heartbroken to find out that I had been giving my mom something that was making her worse, and I can honestly say that I felt it in my gut. Like every time I would give it to her, she was in a worse position. I mean, like I felt it that was not helping. And it was very devastating to know that we trusted medical professionals to lead us in the right direction, somehow advised us on, at least how to subside the pain, how to make the pain subside until we could go to the doctor the next day. But it was a flop. No reason. We should have just stayed home, honestly. Why you turn like that?
Because you paused a long time.
I was trying to see if you had anything to say. I feel like I've been talking a long time.
Oh. Go ahead.
Okay, so after we're informed that the eye drops we were giving her was making her worse, that made us curious, like, what are these eye drops?
I'm finding out that a lot of people are saying she need numbing drops. Obviously, y'all don't know what numbing drops do to you. You know that?
Seriously.
Yeah, it melts the surface of your eye.
Well, I don't know if it's all numbing drops, but those particular ones. Yeah. Okay. This is the kicker. Do you want me to drop the bomb? This is a bomb, okay? Please I need you to, what I need for you to do, that's watching right here, I need you to do this. I need you to grab your drawers through your pants, and I need you to hold on to them because I might just blow them off. So, matter of fact, go put a belt on. I don't even care if you don't even have to have no pants on. Put a belt on around your bloomers. So, we end up calling different medical professionals to find out what type of medicine this was I was giving to my mom. And upon research and we found that the eye drops we were giving my mom were optic anesthesia drops, meaning they should only be administered by an anesthesiologist, and they are used during prep for eye surgery to numb the eye for eye surgery. So the reason why it was wearing off so quickly is because in those 20 minutes, the surgery was supposed to have began. You know, you have your little anesthesia in the bag, but you also have to have some in your eyes as well. I told you in the beginning, my mom's allergic to anesthesia. So not only does that explain why it made her cuts worse, okay, this, on top of that, on top of her being allergic to the anesthesia, the drops are already not good for you because they're known for melting the surface of your eye. That's why there was no prescription for it. That's why it was passed to us out of someone's pocket, because she went and got that off of the anesthesiologist's tray. Mind you, she was not an anesthesiologist either. She's a nurse. And anyway, so that explains why the irritation on her skin came about, because she's allergic to anesthesia. You probably need to add that to your medical profile, that one of the symptoms of your anesthesia allergy is like, I don't want to say hives, not hives. It affects your skin as well. And on top of that, I may insert a clip. I noticed that as I was talking to my mom while she was on the stretcher, she was kind of loopy. Huh?
I had my eyebrow touched before.
You were loopy, and I was laughing, but I couldn't understand. I thought maybe you just had such a hard day, but you was... What?
Before I left?
No, not the stretcher. I'm sorry, the hospital bed.
Yeah, remember we were on camera and I said I don't know why I'm sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't do well even with outpatient surgery. Outpatient surgery, you're just out for a couple of hours, and I'll still be out 2 weeks.
Oh girl, when she got her wisdom teeth out, she didn't even know I was there for a whole week. People visiting her and everything, she didn't remember that they were there for an entire week. There's a gap where she remembers going to sleep with the anesthesia and waking up a week later. She does not remember anything from that week. And you know, wisdom teeth, that ain't that big of a deal. This lady was down for a week and a half. I had to feed her, everything. Like, it was bad. Okay, my mom is not, I don't even know how they would handle an anesthesia allergy. Like, how do you have surgery if you're really not supposed to have that?
Well, I think they're supposed to monitor how much they give me.
And I believe that your oral surgeon, I believe he gave you too much.
They don't seem to listen to me when I tell them I'm allergic.
Yeah, they don't seem to listen to, and this is my issue. This is a very serious topic, and I'm sorry to get serious, but Black women are the least of a hospital's concern, and that is a very bold statement, but I say it with confidence. I believe that some of them still believe that we can't feel pain. Because for the eye doctor to tell us that she should be prescribed codeine, and then when we get to the other eye doctor, he's like, oh no, just use like Tylenol. Would you use Tylenol, Bert?
His name was Bert.
No. It really makes, it angers me to think how we were treated, how we were rushed out, how we weren't even, her eyes weren't even flushed. I mean, that was the minimal, that was the bare minimum that could have been done. And in return, we're waiting for those lacerations to heal. That's why she's having on the shades, because and these are very dark, like it looks like nighttime all the time for her, because light, when it dilates her pupil, pain. And the eye doctor told us that dilating your pupil, it would keep you from healing if they were so that's why she always has the glasses on. No, she's not blind, she's healing, and we're gonna do every step that we can to have her to heal properly. The camera's about to die. Hey, that lizard is not gonna hurt us. I wish she knew what to bark about, because we don't care about lizards and squirrels. Anyway, we're so sorry that the camera's about to die. I know this video is very lengthy, but I hope it's detailed and you're all caught up. We will try our best to keep you updated. Make sure that you're following our social media. We don't say that because, oh my God, we need some followers, but we say that because you can literally keep up with us on there. I have 1.5 million on TikTok. I'm about to hit 200K on Instagram. She's like 40, 50, something like that. Y'all follow us so that you can be updated. I mean, just like this, because look how long it's been and you had no idea that this was going on with her. We really apologize for that, but it's been a lot. We've been trying to stay consistent as much as we possibly could throughout this. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard. So if you want a quick story or a quick update, I would definitely recommend that you add us on other social medias. But we really appreciate all the love. We love y'all. We got way more like support through the roof. Like I'm talking about.
Yes.
We never expected that it to reach that many people, and we're happy that our story is making y'all aware to just be careful.